We had this fun. So we have another used to be a co-host of with us named Morg, and anytime that a monster would have a beam attack, like Ignactor, right?
After
Or
Alatreon,
just like
because Alatreon birthed it into our
yes
terminology.
into our lexicon. We call them Morg beams because Morg could not avoid them. He just there's nothing he could have done.
Yeah.
Every single time there was a beam, he's getting hit or carded. Like, so we called them Morg beams when we were trying to get Alatreon down. Eventually, I did get Alatreon down, and then my brother did. But that's probably the most harrowing quest that I've had in Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
And it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
that's what Alatreon is.
And then Fatalis was even more of a big deal, which was so cool. Like, the send-off to Iceborne was so good. And yeah, I think that Alatreon and Fatalis, both of their armor sets were meant to be that pinnacle, which I was okay with, but not Safi. I didn't have any love for the Safi gear at all.
I feel, the point on Alatreon, like, I see a lot of people, they just love to complain about Alatreon. They're like, oh, Alatreon has a DPS check or whatever. And it's like, no, Alatreon's just tough. Alatreon is a hard fight, and he's supposed to be. And if you can't beat him, just keep trying and figure it out until you do. Don't complain about the game being too hard. It's supposed to be hard. Alatreon isn't even required, in the game. You don't have to fight Alatreon. You don't have to beat Alatreon. So you're not entitled to beat Alatreon. It's not it's not a right. It's a privilege. Right? No one owes you anything. Capcom doesn't owe you a victory over Alatreon. You have to earn this one.
I mean,
I did initially complain about it a lot because I was very not upset, but like I there had never, to my experience, been a one-hit kill like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't normal. Like, what
right,
is going? Yeah. And I was very upset about it. Later, since time has passed, I'm more okay with it. And once we beat it, I was a lot more okay with it too. It was more like it felt my complaints felt very impotent after beating it. I was like, oh, okay, sure, yeah. But it being in ways, it kind of was a DPS check, but like, what isn't in the game?
Exactly.
Right. So,
yeah.
Fair.
My first experience with Alatreon was in Tri, and the first time I saw him, I just didn't want to be there. I did not want to be there. Oh, no.
Yeah, he's so scary. He's so scary.
The first 10 times I didn't want to be there, and it took a few tries, I don't remember how many, to finally beat him, and a team of people who had fought him before. And, we would take 20, 25, 30 minutes, whatever. By the time I got done playing Tri, we were beating Alatreon in 2 minutes.
Wow. That is so quick.
Yes, it is. And so it's not, everything in the game is beatable. Every monster is exploitable. You just have to figure it out. And, if you're only going to play World, Iceborne, whatever, for 100 hours, you're going to be complaining. If you're going to play a Monster Hunter game for 1,000 hours, you're less likely to complain because you will eventually figure it out. You will eventually, be very good at it.
To take the old man back in my day stance, I'll give you something to complain about. Go back, get a PSP, get Freedom Unite, then solo, back into a G rank Akintor, G rank Yukanlos, and then Fatalis. And tell me how much you hate Alatreon.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, we'd use the cluster ammo on him. We'd get 4 guys with bow guns and climb up on the ledge, and you could stagger lock him. He would charge the ledge.
Yeah.
His horns would get stuck in the ledge, and you just keep firing right between his wings, and you'd stagger lock him until he's dead. It was amazing. It takes a lot of skill and timing and aim, and you have to kind of stagger your shots because you got to reload, and you don't. If everyone's reloading at the same time, you're going to lose instantly because he will break the ledge and then kill you all with one shot. So it's like you there's no margin for error in the tactic, but
we'll see.
So you went the Haim route. You just
before they started using that word, that's what we were doing. Yeah,
we'll
it was a lot of fun. And
in my Freedom Unite days, I was completely solo because I didn't have that dedicated group of friends or teammates to rely on, and I was a longsword main all the way through the game.
Yeah,
so that was definitely a personal mountain to get over with. At least for Fatalis and Bucanlos. Akintor was always
I got a lot
fun.
of respect. Yeah, I get a lot of respect for people who can solo those old games. That's crazy. I mean, I didn't solo a lot of the Tri stuff for the longest time. And when I did try to solo Alatreon, I got it down to about 39, 40 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. There was a thing, so in the original Monster Hunter, it was a thing. People would kick you out of the lobby if you weren't doing heavy bowgun against Fatalis.
Yeah.
Everyone needed to be heavy bowgun or light bowgun. You weren't allowed to melee Fatalis. And then
I met half those people in 4U. It was the same culture there.
Yeah, and it was just like, no, I can do this. So I would go down there with my green sharpness greatsword because that's all there was in Monster Hunter 1. There wasn't a blue. It went up to green. And there wasn't a G rank, so everything was high rank at the highest, but still, like, green was the best. And so I would go down there, and people were like, what are you doing? You can't go down there. And I got good enough that I would actually, break the chest as the greatsword. And now, granted, I was bouncing every time because it's Fatalis and you have green sharpness, but I actually learned how to do it with a greatsword, and people were just like, you can't do that. Like, it was just not accepted at that time.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I was very defiant about in those early days, is like people telling me how to play it. I was just like, no, I've done it. It works. Watch me. And and granted, I was always in a group when I did that. I played a lot of online with randos in those days. But it was, I don't think I played online with randos after that, though. Like, I started soloing after that, unless I was playing with someone. So I soloed a lot of those early games after 1 as well. So all the PSP ones. Not entirely true. My brother and I play Freedom Unite together quite a bit. That's where we got the story of Lasty, where I would faint twice and he would faint the third time, but I would make fun of him and call him Lasty.
Technically, he's the one that failed the quest for you.
Right. And that's why I called him Lasty.